Astyanax mexicana, the Mexican tetra, is a small fish in the family Characidae native to subtropical and temperate North America, mostly central and eastern Mexico, Texas and New Mexico. Mexican tetras can form large schools, up to several hundred individuals. These fish prefer sandy or rocky-bottomed pools, but they are found in a diversity of habitats, including fast-moving water. Astyanax mexicana is carnivorous, eating insects and small fish. Some populations also eat plants and green algae. Previously considered a subspecies of Astyanax fasciatus, it is now classified as its own species, and it may represent a species complex. The Mexican tetra is found in two distinct forms depending on its environment: a silver, surface-dwelling form, and about 30 distinct populations of a cave-dwelling form morphologically distinct from the normal form by pronounced loss of pigmentation and eyes. The cave form is thought to be derived from two distinct lineages, implying that these morphological features were lost convergently. Astyanax mexicana has been much studied as a genetic model for adaptations to darkness and eye development and evolution, especially powerful because this species is closely related to another well-known laboratory model, the zebrafish, Danio. Both the regular and cave form of the Mexican tetra are common and popular aquarium fish, easily bred in captivity. The Mexican tetra is a small fish with a rather unremarkable appearance, but behind its uninteresting first impression is a fascinating tale of evolution, in which different populations have evolved very different features and habitats, resulting in much debate over this species' taxonomy. One form is a surface-dwelling fish, silvery in color with a black band that extends along each side to the tail. The tail and lower fins of some individuals may be tinted yellow or red. The other form has evolved to inhabit caves, which has resulted in a loss of coloration and, most significantly, the loss of functioning eyes. Both forms of the Mexican tetra have a forked tail, a small dorsal fin, and an anal fin that, on breeding males, possesses tiny hooks. It has comparatively large and strong teeth. Much confusion exists over the correct taxonomy of the Mexican tetra, with some scientists believing that the surface-dwelling and cave forms are actually different species. The Mexican tetra is a schooling fish, which can form schools of up to several hundred or even thousands of individuals. It is primarily a carnivorous fish, feeding on aquatic insects, crustaceans, worms, snails and smaller fish, but it is also reported to feed on plant matter and algae. In Texas, breeding activity has been observed in the surface-dwelling form from late April until September, although elsewhere, such as the lower reaches of the Rio Grande River, reproduction is said to occur year-round. Spawning taking place in late spring and early summer, when a mass of sticky eggs is released into the surrounding waters. 5. Mexican tetras develop quickly, which relates to their short lifespan. Those that are born in the spring reproduce for the first time in autumn and few live for longer than 2 years. Threats: the Mexican tetra is not believed to be in danger of extinction. However, a lack of clarification on the taxonomy of Astyanax species makes it hard to determine the status of this fish and what threats it may face. The cave form has been captured for aquariums, although it is easily bred in captivity, and so it is thought that most Mexican tetras sold today are captive bred. Thus this trade will not impact wild populations. This fish is native to eastern and central Mexico and the lower Rio Grande, Pecos, and Nueces River drainages in Texas and New Mexico. It may also occur in Guatemala and Belize, but records from these areas are disputed. Miller 2005. Page and Burr 2011. It is now established in the stream on the Edwards Plateau in Texas, Page and Burr 2011, and has been collected elsewhere in the southwestern and south-central United States. The species range has expanded through the use of it as bait. Formerly, in the northern part of the range, for example, New Mexico, it probably colonized streams during high water, then was decimated by cold winters. Dams now limit or prevent this pattern. This fish occurs in the various stream and river habitats. It is most abundant in rock and sand-bottomed pools and backwaters, also in caves in Mexico, if those populations are conspecific. In Mexico, this fish occurs in river pools and fairly shallow backwaters in moderate current. Miller 2005. Habitats in Arizona include swift rapids, eddies, and pools. In New Mexico, it occurs primarily in habitats with stenothermal flows, springs. Sublette et al. 1990. Young have been observed in shallow water near overhanging bank vegetation. No major threats are known in most of the range. In New Mexico, where rare, this fish is apparently extirpated from the Rio Grande drainage. Probably it was negatively affected by habitat degradation caused by overgrazing, siltation, channelization, and water diversions. Possibly also affected by severely cold winters of the 1960s.